Well, I got to see A24's The Drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, and it is a dark comedy. Dark comedy. A24's The Drama. What did I think of it? I'll let you know up next at Mark at the Movies. Well, friends, I got to see The Drama, A24's The Drama, starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. And this is one of the first movies that I had to, after the film, go back and watch the trailer again, because this movie was not what I was expecting at all. It is, well, first of all, it's funny, but it is dark. Oh my goodness, is this movie a dark comedy? A dark comedy. I'll get my wife dark chocolate for different holidays, and it's like 90% dark. Then there's some chocolate comedy type of thing, right? That's what this is. But you know what? I am shocked. I really kind of enjoyed it, and that has a lot to do with career best performances by both Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. They really commit to this project, which is interesting because I'm like, man, this movie it's got a ton of different important thematic elements to it, whether it's, I don't want to ruin the big surprise, but like depression, wedding jitters, emotional trauma, stuff. And I'm like, who is this movie by? And it's a director and writer, Christopher Borgli, who's done nothing that I recognize. But man, does it have an A24 flair to it. It looks like an A24 movie. Some of the music feels like A24. Cinematography is really good. The music's good, but really this centers around the spectacular performances by Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Zendaya, look, I'll be the first one to say, I don't get why she's blown up the way that she has. She's too quirky for my taste, but boy, does she give a mature performance here. I would argue this is her really first significantly mature starring role. Yeah, she's mature in Dune, but that's a smaller role compared to her starring role in this film. And this film really does center around the one component. And what is that? Well, this is what the movie is about. The movie is about Pattinson plays a guy named Charlie, and then Zendaya plays Emma, and it's the week of their wedding, and they're about to get married, and when they do the food tasting the week of, they're with their two best friends, and they all decide to get drunk and play the game, what's the worst thing that you've ever done? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly happen that someone would do that would be so horrific? And then Zendaya's character Emma speaks, and it sets the whole rest of the movie into a tailspin. And it's a really interesting premise. The director here, Borgli, he does some interesting things. The first 25 minutes of the film, it felt too hip for me. It felt too hip in a way where you have two of the most beautiful and recognized stars in the world. We're in love and they're hip, and there's all these different angles and camera angles and lighting stuff. And I'm like, gosh, this movie feels like a wine or a Corona commercial, or I don't know, something like really like bougie, and it felt like it was informing me that, oh, you're not cool enough for this movie. And then the wine tasting happens, and it falls on its side in an interesting way. And I would say that the dark comedy is very dark, that there are probably too many issues in here. And what I mean by that is a lot happens in this week to challenge. There is the jitters of being married. There is all the planning of a wedding. There is the interpersonal relationships between friends and coworkers, and do I really know? Am I really getting involved with another person? And what is their history? Do I really know them at all? And those are really complicated and serious questions. Then, this thing that Zendaya's character, Emma, does is so out of left field, but in an interesting way. And then the narrative gets interesting where you get pieces of what they're thinking, but it never really completely informs you necessarily what's real and what's not, and you got to kind of figure it out for yourself. And in each scene within itself, you do finally get there. But it was a romanticized dark comedy version of romance that doesn't quite hit the narrative enough for this to be anywhere approaching an excellent film. What makes this film watchable and interesting and fun are the two masterful performances, and some of the thought processes are really, really good. There's some hints early on and in the middle of what may happen, and well, do these things happen? You got to watch the movie. But I'll tell you, if you're going in looking for a romantic comedy or looking for a dark comedy about romance, nope, this is not the picture for you. I would suspect that Robert Pattinson and Zendaya lovers are going to go into this and be like, what the hell is this? And I hope that you buckle in for the ride, because it is really a worthwhile watch. Is it something that I would, buy, or something that I would watch over and over again? No, it's weird. It's like a Lorgos Lanthimos film where not a lot of his stuff is infinitely watchable all the time, but it's strange and interesting. And man, I laughed hard a couple of times at the irony in the film, and I did really like that. A couple other standout performances in the film. Elena Haim plays Rachel as Charlie's good friend, and that was she was very interesting in that. Haley Gates also plays a really good character. Robert Pattinson's co-worker, I really enjoyed her performance as well. Overall, this is not what I was expecting, but I guess it was really lovely after all. I'd give this a solid 3 stars, right on the backs of both Zendaya and Robert Pattinson committing completely and giving world-class performances. With Zendaya's year with Dune 3, and with also Spider-Man coming out, this may be her biggest year ever. And with Robert Pattinson playing the villain in Dune 3 as well, and Batman 2 coming out next year, they are really on track to be 2 of the biggest stars in Hollywood, period. So it's interesting to see this just before they go into mega stardom mode. Well, how about you? Are you going to go see the drama? Have you seen it? What did you think? Was it what you were expecting? What do you think of Robert Pattinson and Zendaya and their performances? I try to answer every single comment in the comment sections. I love to talk about movies. Let's continue to go to the movies. Let's talk about movies together at Mark at the Movies.